Alright guys, Georgie Boy here. So last night I got to catch the Uncle Jim and Cranky Cleatus live chat. That was a great chat, guys. And one of the questions Uncle Jim asked Cleatus was, what was the first gun he ever shot? And Cleatus said, a 410 shotgun. And I chimed in, hey, that was first gun I shot as well. And I don't know, there's probably half a dozen other guys said the same thing. And I happen to still have mine. And I also happen to have my first rifle. My first gun was this 410. It is a Harrington and Richardson. It is a model 88 Topper Junior. It's got a 3-inch chamber and a full choke. And I got that for Christmas in 1981. I was 9 years old. And I shot about everything with it, and it still locks up tight as a bank vault. I liked it because it had the screw instead of the little clip thing that wears out and breaks, and then when you shoot your gun, your fore-end comes off in your hand. I've had that happen on some old ones, but still got it. She still shoots good. The next year for Christmas, I got a Marlin Model 60 22 long rifle. Now, back then, I hadn't really heard of the 1022 in my parts. Pretty much everybody had old bolt action 22s. Some were tube fed and some were just single shots, you know, Stevens and J.C. Higgins and things like that. But when these come along, these were popular when I was a kid. And I got this one in 1982, and this is before they did the cut the barrel and then cut the magazine back and cut your capacity back. It's got the full-length barrel and the full-length magazine tube. It holds 16 or 17 long rifles. And it's had, gosh, there's no way to tell. I mean, about a brick every week for as long as I can remember when I was a kid. Of some just old, whatever was the cheapest I could find. And she's a bit rough, but she ought to be. She's earned every bit of it. Over the years, I lost the whole complete front sight. Lost the rear side elevator. Broke the trigger guard assembly somehow. And this assembly is out of a later gun, a parts gun that my brother-in-law had. It's got the bolt release. This gun didn't originally come with that. That was off a later model, but it got me back to shooting. And then about 15 years ago, the recoil spring broke. It's got a recoil rod and a spring, and it broke. I took it out, and then, I don't know, moving and things, I lost the rod, and I just stuck it in the back of the safe, and got it out here a while back and found out that Midway sells the recoil spring and rod for like 10 bucks. So I'm gonna order that and get this old gun running again and let my kids shoot it. And so that was my first rifle and my first shotgun. And when I was a kid, I always got the 2.5-inch shells. And then one day I found out what this 3 on top of my chamber was. It would take a 3-inch shell. I didn't know anything about that, so I started getting these 3-inch shells, and I quickly found out I had a little more range and a little more oomph with my little 410, so that's what I wanted from then on. And then about 10 years ago, I was deer hunting, and I was hunting over a food plot. I was on a fence line. I had my stand on a fence line. And behind me on the farmer's property was a little patch of woods, and every day I would see fox squirrels over there. And so eventually I said, you know, I'm going to take that little 410 I got with me, and when I'm done deer hunting, as it gets closer to dark, if I hadn't seen any deer, I'm going to try to get me one of those fox squirrels. So I get my little 410 out, and all I have is these little 2.5-inch shells. And sure enough, no deer showed up, but here comes the fox squirrels. And so I let them get as close as I can. I load me up one of these little ones. I fire off at him, and he ran up the tree and sat on a limb. So now I'm down to 2 shells. So I get down out of my stand, walk down the fence, get as close as I can, fire again, knock him off his limb, he hits the ground, he goes right back up the tree. So now I got 1 shell. So I crossed the fence, went over on the farmer's place, got up under the tree he was in, got me a good bead drawed up there on him, fired again, and he hit the ground. Thump. I said, well, I got him. So I went to pick him up, and he took off down across the guy's field, wobbling. So I did what I had to do. I looked around, found me a stick, chased him down, and gave him a good rap on the head. And he's on my wall today. He's got a 17.5-inch tail. Got him on a piece of driftwood. And there's my 3 shells. True story. So that's a little bit about my first shotgun and first rifle. Thanks for bringing back the memories, Cleatus. You guys have a good day.